Madam Speaker, I rise to respond to the questions on strategic measures in place for disaster emergency operation during in the aftermath of natural disasters. Madam Speaker, Fiji's disaster management arrangements are clearly defined in Fiji's Disaster Management Plan of 1995. The plan provides guidance on the standard operational procedures for any emergency operations and the triggers that activate any government response. The National Disaster Management Act of 1998 clearly outlines the roles and responsibilities of all key responding agencies prior and during any emergency situation. Madam Speaker, under Fiji's National Disaster Management Act of 1998 and Disaster Management Plan of 1995, the National Disaster Management Office, or NDMO, is mandated to coordinate all activities relating to disaster monitoring, warning, and immediate post-disaster response, including disaster relief work. This is why, in most cases, the NDMO, in collaboration with the divisional commissioners, are at the forefront of any emergency operations work. Madam Speaker, for the information of this Honourable House, once the Fiji Meteorological Service upgrades the advisory from a tropical disturbance to a tropical depression, the National Disaster Management Office immediately activates the establishment of the National, Divisional and District Emergency Operation Centers. This activation enables these emergency operation centers to operate on a 12 hours or even 24 hours rotation to ensure that the necessary preparedness action both within government and at the community level is undertaken. Madam Speaker, these divisional emergency operation centers coordinate the establishment of search and rescue teams in collaboration with the Fiji Police Force and the National Fire Authority. These emergency teams will be on standby to respond to any call for emergency evacuation from the general public before and during any disaster events. In the same spirit, the Royal Fiji Military Forces are also placed on standby in the event additional manpower is required to support any emergency operation. Madam Speaker, the lesson learned from TC Winston has been used as a benchmark in responding to TC Joshi and TC Kenny, especially in getting emergency response agencies prepared. Government is working to ensure that emergency teams are provided with strategic assets and equipment to ensure that can operate in high-risk environment during disasters. Madam Speaker, to complement the work of these emergency operators during a relief and rescue operation is the activation of evacuation centers. Evacuation centers are established to provide temporary safe shelter for all those assisted via government's relief and rescue operations, and also to provide a base for any emergency evacuation by air or sea for very serious cases. Madam Speaker, this is why government has made it mandatory for such centers to be monitored by police officers, daily inspection by health officials to check on those injured, and the provision of food rations and drinking water to ensure that those affected are supported during and after disaster events. These are normally undertaken to ensure that communities are kept away from harm's way until such time it is deemed safe for people to move back to their homes. Madam Speaker, these are not standalone strategies, but a comprehensive plan of action that has been tried and tested over many disaster events and are still being adopted and used today. Thank you.